When Ditto copies a Pokémon that has a signature move in Pokémon Sword and Shield, one with an animation built just for them, it will actually fail to perform it properly. The Pokémon Company quietly acknowledged this on their PokéTimes Twitter account, but only showed 2 examples. So that got us thinking, are there more moves Ditto can't copy? And as it turns out, there definitely are.
So today, we're going through all the signature moves Ditto can't copy in Pokémon Sword and Shield, from the least obvious to the most broken. Volcanian steam eruption separates the spouts on its back and lets loose a pressurized blast of steam from each one. Ditto, however, can only manage to produce a single stream from between the spouts. Not quite the same effect. Drum beating is all about rhythm. Rillaboom pounds its drums to summon vines that whip the opponent. Ditto's version uses half the effort and isn't anywhere close to matching the beat. Zeraora gathers electrical energy in its palm, raises both arms, then strikes downward when using Plasma Fists, firing 2 pillars of electricity at the opponent. Ditto skips the build-up entirely, and just throws a single upward strike.
When Zarude uses Jungle Healing, it drops to all 4s, connects to the forest through its vines, and draws in a field of green energy to heal itself and its allies. Ditto doesn't get any of that. It just raises both hands and strikes an intimidating pose. But here's where things get even more interesting. Dragon Darts works because Dragapult actually fires the 2 Dreepy it carries on its head as projectiles, sending them streaking toward the opponent. Ditto, however, doesn't have Dreepy, so it improvises by firing generic dragon-shaped energy bolts instead. Morpeko's Aura Wheel has a jump into a rolling wheel that shoots headfirst into the opponent. Ditto's version takes a different approach. It disappears from the animation entirely and just lets the wheel do all the work on its own. Cramorant's Gulp Missile isn't just a move, it's a passive ability. When Cramorant uses Surf or Dive, it returns from the water with either an Arrokuda or Pikachu clamped in its beak, ready to fire at whoever hits it next. Ditto can copy Cramorant's form, but it can't copy the ability Gulp Missile. So when Ditto uses Surf or Dive as Cramorant, it comes back up completely empty-beaked. No Arrokuda or Pikachu. The ability just doesn't trigger.
But here's where it gets interesting. If Cramorant is already holding a catch when Ditto transforms into it, Ditto will inherit that form, beak full and everything. It just can't do anything with it. When it gets hit, instead of launching the catch at the opponent, Ditto just takes the damage. No retaliation. And this opens up something you'd almost never see otherwise. If Ditto faints while holding a Pokémon in its mouth, you get a completely unique faint animation. Cramorant drops to the ground and the Pokémon tumbles out. It's one of the rarest animations in the game, and Ditto is the most practical way to see it. For Fleur Cannon, Magearna opens its specialized arm cannon and fires a beam at the enemy. Ditto raises both arms and fires, completely ignoring the cannon it doesn't have. Regidrago's dragon energy is a spectacle. It leaps into the air, its body twisting into the shape of a dragon's head, and then it unleashes a powerful blast from its mouth. Ditto skips forming the dragon's head altogether, and just fires the beam from its arms. Behemoth Bash is built around Zamazenta's shield. It fills with energy, locking its mane into place, then dashes forward for a vicious tackle. Ditto has none of that setup, so it just lunges straight at the opponent. For Thunder Cage, Regieleki jumps above the enemy and unleashes an electrifying attack that traps the opponent beneath it. Ditto's Thunder Cage launches a generic energy ball into the air that somehow achieves the same effect.
Inteleon's Snipe Shot is a precision move. It drops to one knee, takes careful aim, and then fires a pinpoint water bullet. Ditto performs it standing casually upright. No kneeling, no aiming. For Spirit Shackle, the Decidueye physically grabs the tassel of its hood to form a bow, draws an arrow that fills with energy, and lets it loose. Ditto just flaps its wings, and the Spirit Shackle arrows materialize from nowhere. Incineroar stretches both arms out and spins toward the enemy when using Darkest Lariat. But Ditto can only perform Incineroar's basic attack animations, resulting in an extremely wonky version of the move. For Wicked Blow, Urshifu charges its aura. launches at the opponent and delivers a single devastating blow. Ditto's wicked blow is just a shoulder barge.
From this point on, the differences start to become much more extreme. When Blacephalon uses Mind Blown, a spotlight shines down on it. It pulls off its own head, lobs it into the air, and it explodes into a shower of fireworks. Ditto can't remove its head, so instead, it grows a second one and throws that directly at the target. Glacial Lance begins by encasing the opponent in ice. Then Ice Rider Calyrex summons a massive lance made of ice and hurls it. Ditto can't produce the lance, so its Glacial Lance shoots a beam of blue energy to shatter the ice instead. For Meteor Assault, Sirfetch'd readies its lance with a dramatic close-up on its face, then lunges forward, piercing straight through the opponent. Ditto's Meteor Assault awkwardly slides backward first, then charges forward, cutting the animation off right at the moment of contact.
Cinderace's Pyro Ball starts with fancy footwork, juggling a pebble until it ignites into a fireball, and then kicking it at the opponent. Ditto's Pyro Ball has no setup or juggling. It spawns the fireball out of nowhere and immediately kicks it. Surging Strikes is a flurry of swipes, kicks, and strikes from Urshifu, landing 3 consecutive hits. Ditto compresses all of that into a single swipe that still somehow registers as 3 hits. Each one noticeably weaker sounding. Sunsteel Strike opens with a close-up on Solgaleo's face, revealing a glowing symbol on its forehead. It leaps into the sky, charges with solar energy, and dives at the opponent. Ditto keeps it simple. It just leaps into the air and flies at the opponent. No pose, no symbol, no charge.
Moongeist Beam starts with Lunala shooting into the air. A third eye briefly flashes on its forehead before it takes the shape of the full moon and gathers energy to blast the opponent. Ditto's Moongeist Beam skips the entire build-up and immediately fires. Eterna Beam is probably the most dramatic move on the list. Eternatus rockets into the sky. Its full Dynamax form erupts from the clouds and unleashes multiple blasts of energy. Ditto's version has it just look up at the sky, while the beams rain down on their own. Behemoth Blade fills Zacian's sword with energy, transforming the blade and doubling its size, before Zacian leaps at the opponent with an explosive spinning strike. Ditto skips the sword transformation entirely. Its Behemoth Blade leaps at the opponent, clipping through the floor with no animation at all. Definitely the most broken one of all.
So there you have it. 24 signature moves we could find that Ditto can't copy in Pokémon Sword and Shield. Let us know your favorite in the comments down below. And if you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.